Hello, welcome back to Trailer Trash. Suitable Flesh. Let's check it out.
She has the perfect life, the perfect husband, the perfect career,
I want to help you.
I'm not so sure you can.
the perfect flesh.
Well, I'm beginning to see a pattern with a lot of these trailers we look at. One, the narrator's back. I guess this is just a thing we do nowadays. Like, we just have a narrator now. But also, once again, a callback to a previous decade, in this case, the 80s. Like, at least with, the music and the neon pink lettering. So it's interesting to me because at what point are we not, like, it seems the farther into the future you get, the farther in the future you are with your nostalgia. Does that make sense? Like back in the 80s or 90s, early 2000s, you didn't have things that were purely 80s nostalgia. But now you do, because we're farther ahead from the 80s, and as we get even farther ahead, the 90s will be a thing. But what bugs me is, what does the early 2000s look like nostalgia-wise? Like, honestly, think about it. What's the identity of the early 2000s as a decade? It's kind of hard to pinpoint, isn't it? I don't know. That's just me.
What just happened?
From the
Twisted Psyche.
of Joe Lynch.
Related to David Lynch? Probably not. Actually, I gotta look it up now. Okay, from what I could find, not related to David Lynch, unfortunately. But it seems like a lot of his style is very, like, snuff films, like very edgy, very gory. Kind of Sam Raimi-ish from the looks of it. But anyway.
It felt so real. I was in his body.
And the universe.
H.P. Lovecraft. Who are you? Really?
Italian, come on. Yeah, come on. Lisa! Lisa! What have you done to me? Can't do this.
Sorry. Wrong number. This is a magnificent body. It suits me.
What's going on with you?
Me? I'm just dandy. Brandy?
This is weird. Are we sure he's not related to David Lynch? Okay, I gotta point out the world of H.P. Lovecraft. So this isn't based on any works of H.P. Lovecraft. This is like the Cthulhu universe type thing where it's like, we take from his style and make your own sort of horror out of it. It's what I'm gathering from it, because as far as I know, this isn't a thing from H.P. Lovecraft. But and again, I'll bring it up again, and I'll constantly bring it up. Horror movies, which I don't even know if you could call this that. Slasher, maybe? But, the concept is meant to be spooky and unnerving, but it's not taking itself seriously at all. Like, what is that, right? But, yeah, it's a weird, tonally, it's very strange to me.
You're that patient. What happened to Elizabeth Derby?
You have to believe me, Danny.
It's a fantasy to spice up your sex life. I think I'm losing my mind.
After the third time, it's forever.
Okay, so Lovecraftian. What about it? Like, because you have books with a picture of Cthulhu in it? Like, is that the Lovecraft? Like, you can't just have, like, cult rituals and bodies, like, murdering people for some sort of ritualistic gain and call it Lovecrafty. It's kind of weird to me, but I don't know. Maybe it is in some weird way based on a book by Lovecraft. I'm no expert on it, but I don't know. I'm just getting this vibe that they're being like, oh, since we got fucking Cthulhu and creepy writing, it's Lovecraftian. Yeah.
Hi, boys.
Suitable.
Flesh.
Yeah, very strange. I get the sense that it's more of a, one of those slasher film kind of spoofy sort of things, and not. It says it's a blast for horror fans, or it says something like horror fans would love it. I'm not getting the horror from the trailer, at the very least. And a lot of horror movies these days, I've noticed there's a distinct lack of trying to be scary. And I've complained about this before, but I'm worried that the humor and then not taking yourself seriously is being used as a crutch. Like, oh, well, if you're not scared by it, that's because it was meant to be campy. You know, it's like, you can't do that though. You have to choose what you're going for. And it seems like horror movies nowadays are choosing to just go for being ridiculous and over the wall. But yeah, let's check out the comments. I'm in. I came for Heather Graham, but will stay for the wild Lovecraftian story. You just know a good Lovecraft reimagining when you see it. Looks promising. Okay, well, apparently I gotta look this up because this is a Lovecraftian thing, I guess. Okay, so it is based supposedly on Lovecraft's story, The Thing on the Doorstep, which I find hilarious because according to Wikipedia, take from that what you will, but the idea for the story came to Lovecraft from a dream he had in 1928, which he wrote down in his commonplace book as, man has terrible wizard friend who gains influence over him, kills him in defense of his soul, walls body up in ancient cellar. But the dead wizard, who has said strange things about soul lingering in body, changes bodies with him, leaving him a conscious corpse in cellar. So there you go. Apparently Lovecraft writes notes about his dreams and inspiration for stories, much the way I do, that I look back and read them weeks later and go like, the fuck was I thinking? But yeah, that's interesting, which I can see, being in the cellar. It's a terrible wizard friend. It's just, I love that. Also very cast of Amontillado, very, very much the same, though in that case, Amontillado is dead, but in this, they can't die because they're immortal, or that just has, the soul is trapped. Something. I'm gleaning much more from just the synopsis than probably what's in the book, but yeah, so that's interesting. I had no idea. It seems weirdly cool with a K. I might watch it. About 70% watchable. Now that is an interesting rating system for trailers. This movie I give a 70%. Whatever that means. This is ... freaky 2? Where is that I haven't heard a narrator like that in a movie. That's a sign the movie is bad or too complicated for some people. What, having a narrator means the movie might be bad or too complicated? I'm not sure, but they haven't heard a narrator like that. Like, did the narrator say something that seemed bad? I'm confused by this comment. I know, it's never happened before, has it? It feels like it has almost nothing to do with Lovecraft. Shake my head. Yeah, I gotta agree with that. The whole, again, I was put off by, this, the sax music, the narrator, I guess the neon pink wasn't as an 80s reference, but more so as like a, it's a porno essentially. I think I caught a thing Google searching it, referencing it to like a Skinamax film. So there you go. But that kind of style and that whole, again, humor, but then glimpses of like Lovecraftian monsters and creepy cultish texts and rituals, and it's like the blend wasn't there. It didn't blend well. It was very jarring, which was why I was so up in arms about this whole it's Lovecraftian, but how? But it's based on a story, so I guess you can't get more Lovecraftian than that, maybe. But yeah, I feel like if it sets itself too much apart from the source material, it will lose some of that. Which again, is it a horror? I didn't get that from the trailer. Is it Lovecraftian? Didn't get that from the trailer. Also, what was it called? Color Out of Space, the Nicolas Cage, really good Lovecraft movie. I'd recommend it 100%. I've always wanted to see In the Mouth of Madness, which I don't even know if it's Lovecraftian per se, but there's a Lovecraft story called In the Mountain of Madness, or is it Beyond the Mountain of Madness? I don't remember. But anyway, Lovecraft movies are an interesting thing that are kind of cropping up here and there nowadays, and I'm for it. As this commenter says, all about H.P. Lovecraft movies, baby. I don't know how I feel about them calling me baby, but I agree. So yeah, that was Suitable Flesh. Was not expecting it to be such a emotional roller coaster for me, but there you have it. It looks interesting. Trailer told me nothing about the tone, or if it did tell me about the tone, I don't think it's going to be for me, but we'll leave it at that, and thanks for watching.